guys, it's Angel, and this is a Memorial Day episode of Cooking with Angel. I just wanted to do a little demonstration of how I make my potato salad and also deviled eggs. I've done a bunch of recipes before and haven't really liked them too much in terms of tasting authentic when it comes to the potato salad. For the deviled eggs, we found a recipe that actually has no sugar in it at all, and that was really hard to find for us. So it was important at the time. We were all doing keto, and now I think it's just a good idea to might as well make it without sugar. So welcome to the show. I'm going to start with the deviled eggs. The potatoes are quartered, and they're boiling right now. Hey, Chris. Okay, so I have the eggs boiled. And I'm just going to place them on this trivet, the whole pot, so I can show you how to do it. What I do is I then transfer them into ice water. Hey, Wanda. And I figured I'd do it nice and early. And Mom and another Wanda as well. Okay. Also, we are on the S&D podcast channel right now. So I want to say hello to all of my listeners there also. Okay, so the recipe for the deviled eggs calls for 12 eggs. But I'm also making potato salad. So what I wound up making was 15 eggs, 3 for the potato salad. And if you have been to any of my parties, then you have already tasted these deviled eggs probably and the potato salad. I used to make it when I lived in New York, the potato salad anyway. So anyway, I hope everyone has something planned for today, even if it's not an outdoor barbecue, a little something. And, of course, we got to remember the servicemen and women, which is what this day is all about, right? So let me just go here real quick to my Facebook page. And as I have mentioned the other day to somebody, these videos are all on YouTube right now. So the good thing about that is you don't have to go hunting for them if you want to see the videos. I know sometimes it gets a little crazy on the social media pages with like random posts and things like that. So in any case, I'm putting the eggs in an ice water bath. And what I'm going to do is just roll them back and forth and then peel them. I could rinse them there. Now, the deviled eggs, this is a pretty old recipe that has been around for a little while. But a friend of ours recently gave it to us, our friend Amy. And her deviled eggs are just, they're really fantastic. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, so the eggs are all out. I'm just going to go ahead and dump this water. Okay. Sometimes when you dump the water, it's like a hot water bath, and a lot of Italian women say that that's the facial that they get when they're doing their pasta and stuff like that. You just let the hot water a little bit fan it to yourself. So I always thought that was kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to take a clean cutting board. And I'm just going to go ahead and roll these on here. Hey, Michelle. My honey is on here too. All right, so just rolling them back and forth. Now, with the deviled eggs, what you're going to do, and these are still a little bit warm, is you're going to want to cut them in half and then scoop out the insides. So if you get a couple of them that are kind of ugly when you go to cut them in half, that's okay. Those could be for the chef. And if you have a lot of people coming over or something like that, you might want to do more than the 12. Obviously, 12 is going to make 24 deviled eggs. They're halves. And, just to make sure they look pretty. You could also get a deviled egg tray, which is what we have here as well. And they even sell them, honestly, even in the dollar store. They have them everywhere. So it's a nice, easy way to present them. Or you could even present them on a regular plate. Okay, so the recipe for this calls for 12 eggs, half a cup of mayo, half a cup of cilantro, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 1 tablespoon of Frank's Red Hot or hot sauce, and a half a teaspoon of sea salt. So I know it says hot sauce, but honestly, it's not like spicy. If you don't like spice, it's not very spicy. I mean, they're doubled for a reason, right? But it's not like super duper spicy. And then what we're gonna do, hopefully, after we do the potato salad and the deviled eggs, is I'm gonna show you how to make fried Oreos, which is a nice little surprise. And I might have a guest with me, a little guest who's been dying to be on the show. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so see how this egg is not so pretty? It's okay, because it's gonna be down. That part is gonna be face down. So in any case, let's see if we have any comments. Hi, David. And Susanna. Hey, Susanna. I think my sister is visiting you also for Memorial Day weekend. So tell her I said hi. All right, so here we go. Just peeling the egg. So for this, you're just going to want the 12, and then it's going to become the 24. And let's see what else we have cooking for today. Our next show is going to be with Lillian, and she wants to do something called Hasselback potatoes. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of something like that. And so those are pretty cool too. And I believe she's sending me a recipe book, which is really cool, with that in it. I know a bunch of friends of mine are starting cookbooks. So in my mind, I'm like, maybe one day I'll make a cookbook. That would be really cool. But in any case, so, all right, so we're just moving right along here. So I'm not going to make them all. Well, actually, yeah, I will. Because I want the mix to come out good. And it actually is just like so delicious. You're going to love it. All right, so let me show you what we're doing here. We're just peeling. And then I'm going to show you how easy it is just to scoop them out. I'm not the best egg peeler in the world, but that's okay. Here we go. So the fun fact about me, I never used to eat eggs ever. Like, I thought they were really, really gross and just, wasn't feeling them. And basically, like, when I had my son, when I was pregnant, I used to make eggs all the time for my husband. And what I would do is, however he liked them. If he wanted them fried, if he wanted them scrambled, if he wanted the omelet, however he wanted them, because I wasn't going to eat them anyway. So one day, I'm pregnant with my son, Jack, and I'm eating the egg. I'm making the eggs, right? And I'm like, wow, this smells really, really good, I'm like, wow, these smell delicious. And mind you, like, very pregnant, and I'm getting closer and closer, closer to the eggs. And the next thing you know, I wound up trying them, and I actually love them. And it's one of those, like, green egg and ham kind of deals. So it's like, try them. And then I love green eggs with ham. Hey, Marina and Christina and James and Edgar. So good to see you guys. I don't know if you're going to try this recipe today, but it's actually a recipe that you could take with you, to any party or anything like that you're doing. It's really cool. Used to hate corn. That's crazy. I love corn now. You see, like, corn, I know, has kind of no nutritional value, right? But it tastes good. And this thing that I found, me and my hubby, we found recently, I don't know if you guys eat at Chili's at all, but I'm sure there's other places that are more authentic, in terms of what this is. It's a Mexican street roasted corn. If you haven't had it yet, it's really good. It's like, those, I think they call them elotes or something like that. It's really delicious. Okay, so I'm just going to check the potatoes. Let's see. I'm going to pull one out with the ladle. Whenever I'm boiling, I want to use the ladle just because I don't want to get, like, really, really burned. Okay, so these are perfect right now. I'm going to just show you. Oh, not that one. I'm not going to show you that one. I think the episodes when I cook on my own are a little bit more I Love Lucy than the ones that I do with other people. Okay. God bless you too, Christina. Okay, see how easy this went in? That means they're ready. So I'm just going to turn off the boiler. And it's always like a juggling act for me when I'm making more than one thing at a time. So that's when the ADD hits in. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now we're doing this. So let me just take these guys off the stove. I always have my strainer just directly in the sink for moments like this. And again, we're getting that steam bath. Ooh, that poor woman's facial, right? But it works. It's fantastic. Okay, so those guys can hang out, and you're gonna want the potatoes to cool because it's gonna make it easier for you to just like peel off the skin. So when I put them in, they have the skin on them. If you put them in peeled, that's okay, but what's gonna happen is the skin on the outside becomes like another layer. So you're gonna have to peel them again anyway. So I just quarter them. If you don't, I know I said 6 medium potatoes, but if you don't have 6 medium potatoes, like mine didn't come with bigger potatoes, it came with smaller ones. So I figured 2 smaller ones equals 1 medium one. So that's okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, I loved it. Delicious. I mean, there's so many things that I've eaten like as an adult that I'm just like, what the heck was wrong with me? And that's why I have faith that my son is not going to be so picky one day. He eats like 5 things. But he recently discovered grapes, green grapes that are seedless. So he actually enjoys those. So that's really cool. All right. So the other thing that I like to make on, like barbecue days is macaroni and cheese. And I found a really delicious recipe for bacon and like 3 cheese macaroni and cheese. I made it for my husband's birthday one year, like his 30th birthday, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of work. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was like so much work, but it was delicious. So if I find the recipe again, which I probably will, only because I tend to bookmark every recipe that I find that I like in my phone, then I will share that with you guys also. All right, so here we go. I have 3 more eggs, but I'll save those for the potato salad so we can move along here. All right, 12 eggs peeled, boom. Just gonna move this over, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. So let me get my little thing here. Where are you? Here we go. So this is a really cool one that I have here. This is actually, I think, my mom's that I kept. Sorry. You can take it home later. And what it is a double-egg holder, and then it has a little cover. So you could transport them to a party or something like that, which is really cool. I really like that idea. And whenever we have parties, we like to, like I said in the last show, we like to have a lot of little snacky things for people. So this is one of them, and honestly, they go. Like we had a party. Hey, Angelica. We had a party for 3 Kings Day this year. I don't even know how many deviled eggs Amy made. I want to say probably 24, and they were gone. I mean, like gone fast. She made this beautiful like tray with stuff, and that was fantastic also. All right, so here we go. Eggs. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to also need a little spoon. So let's see if this is small enough. No, I'll use this guy. Oh, no, this one. You're going to want to use a teaspoon because remember, inside the eggs is very small. So I'm going to show you this way because it's prettier. And I pretty much rinsed them all, but let me just get a little more water to rinse them off too. Because you don't want eggshells on your deviled eggs. That is for sure. Alright, so I'm just going to rinse them, and then I'll cut them, and I'll show you how to scoop them out. Okay, so for me, I don't want to get cut. My grandma used to cut everything into her hand like this, and then rinse my knife like this, which, you could do, but it's kind of dangerous. All right. See how pretty the yolks are? If you have boiled the eggs for too long, the yolks start to look green, but not the end of the world. All right, so we're gonna put them in the plate. I don't know if you guys can see the plate, but as I take the yolk out, I'm kind of like opening up the white part a little bit so I can get my spoon in there, and boop, they scoop right out, super easy. All right, so let me just cut them all. There we go. And luckily for me, they all came out of the shell really pretty, except for one that's kind of ugly, but it's still gonna taste good. Oop, that guy escaped. All right, so we're just gonna scoop them in, and then we'll add the ingredients little by little. And let me tell you, it's really, really hard to get a recipe that is for deviled eggs that you like, especially one that has no sugar in it. We tried when my husband was doing keto, and it came out bad. Like I can't even. And it's funny because he goes to me, is that the recipe your mother uses? And I was like, no, this is a new one. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, why? He's like, no reason. I'm like, why? It doesn't taste good, right? And he's like, that's interesting. And you know, whenever somebody tells you something's interesting in the kitchen, that's code for it tastes terrible. So, at least in my house. All right, so those guys are in. And you can see that these are like the little shells. You're going to want to refrigerate this before you serve it. You know, if you have the time, it would be a good idea. And then let it sit out for a little bit before the party. So let's say, for example, like for us, my mom is coming at 3. So I'm going to throw these guys in the fridge. And then around 2:30, I'll take them out, let them get kind of to room temperature. Because if not, they're going to be like not as delicious. I don't know. That's the scientific term, not as delicious. Let's see. All right, down to the wire here. Boop. There's the joy that I get from taking the yolks out of these guys, honestly. It's kind of fantastic. It's like that instant gratification. All right. I was going to only make 6 and then have 12 for today because it's only 3 of us. But honestly, these are so good. And the other thing is that I wound up making them this year for Easter. So, you know, with all this virus stuff or whatever, we wound up not having like so many eggs. It was kind of hard to find eggs around Easter time, so I wound up with like a dozen eggs. So what I did was, and I've never done this before, but I think I'm going to keep doing it, is I use food coloring to dye the eggs instead of the, you know, coloring that comes with the dye packages. And then I was able to make deviled eggs the next day from the food colored eggs. So that was kind of cool. All right, so this holder only holds less than 24 eggs, so 6, so 18. So that's very good news for us because then the ugly ones can just stay on the side. And we can just eat those and I don't have to present them. So boom, beautiful. Hey, Carmen. So here we go. All right. All the yolks are in officially. And these guys, I'll just put them to the side. These are the ugly ones that I'll eat before people come. Okay. That's the beauty of being the chef, right? You can just do what you want. All right. So let's see. Just move that over. All right. So it was that easy. So these are the egg outsides. So now for this, what we're going to do, we're just going to add the stuff that goes in here. So 1/2 cup of mayo. Let me just grab my mayo real quick. Where are you, mayo? Where did it go? Ha. Very good. Okay. So, got my brand new mayo. I got my Hellmann's mayo, only because I get yelled at every time I don't use Hellmann's by someone who shall not be named, but is going to be here at 3 o'clock. today. Just putting that out there. Okay. Hey, Lily. All right, let's see. So half a cup of mayo, which might seem like a lot, but this is a lot of eggs. So it's not that much. You could use a measuring cup. You could use those little measuring cups too, whatever makes you happy. All right, there we go, half cup. All right, so I'm just gonna scoop them in. That's what makes them deliciously wonderful. And if you're tuning in right now, this is just egg yolks with mayo for right now. All right, half a cup of cilantro. So if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, I actually just got a hack about cilantro. And basically what it is that you could take the cilantro, put it in a cup of water, and then put like a Ziploc over it. It makes like a little greenhouse for it. That's okay. I didn't know it was going to be on today either. I decided last night, or yesterday evening, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this anyway. So, might as well do it on the show. So right now I'm just making like a really delicious, foolproof deviled eggs. And then we're going to do the potato salad. And then we're going to do a surprise item with a little chef in our house, which is fried Oreos. So those are the kind of desserts that I make, which is why it's good that I don't make dessert all the time. All right, so half a cup of cilantro. Yeah, that's about right. I'm gonna add a little bit more. We made them one time, I think, with lemon juice instead of lime juice, and that really wasn't as good. So you're gonna want the lime. It really does make a difference if you use lemon or lime. Sorry to say. Because lemon does have that little bit of sweetness to it, you know? All right, so here we go. Got my cilantro, and honestly, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty because I think that's part of cooking, at least for me. All right, so I'm just gonna chop it up nice and fine. Get my trusty knife here. Not as prepared as I would like to be. We had a very interesting night last night with the kids waking up and all this other craziness. So, ask Jack to save me when I never had one. Okay, so my mom never had a fried Oreo before. They are like one of those carnival snacks. Someone that I was friends with before, hate to say it like that, but she did them for us, and we really, really like them. And they're just really, really good. So what I have is the Oreo minis, and I think that is a better idea. Hey, Diana. Just because, you know, you don't want to eat giant Oreos that are deep fried sometimes. Okay, so we're going to chop this up really fine because you don't want the cilantro to be like visible so much or in your mouth like a giant leaf or anything like that. Okay, so this is the cilantro. Then the next step we're going to do is 1 tablespoon of lime juice. So I got my limes, and I was a little concerned that the groceries weren't going to come in time today, but they did. So yay! I had some backup groceries just in case, but it wouldn't have been as perfect. All right, so just keep chopping here. Hey, Abby. Got a bunch of ladies on here and some gents. Okay, so here we go. This is the deviled eggs. So I'm just going to chop it up a little bit, tiny bit more. You could do this in the food processor, which might have been a good idea, just because the cilantro is a little bit wet. So maybe next time that'll be what I do. But I have very sharp knives right now because of my friend Janie. So, oh my gosh, Mom said maybe dip the fried Oreos in chocolate. Would that be too much? Yes. That is too much. I think so. Only because the Oreo's are already chocolatey. And so it's going to be like chocolatey, melty, creamy, pancakey goodness. It's like a fried Twinkie. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that or tried it. I think I've tried one like once. So in any case, it's so decadent already. I think it might be too much. But, you know, not against trying it. All right, so now we're going to do the lime juice. Let me just grab a lime. And again, I'm not like, you know, 1,000,000% prepared here. Sorry, guys. But I thought this was important because it was really, really hard for me to find the right recipe for this stuff. And so I wanted to share it. Because it's hard when you go online. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this for the first time. And then what if it doesn't come out good, you know? So an old boss of mine from years ago actually told me, never make something that you're going to present to someone else in terms of food for the first time. Like, make it for the first time for yourself, because there could be a disaster. And that is very true. Okay, so a tablespoon of lime juice. Here we go. So I need somebody to show me how to make, and it's going to sound terrible, how to make arroz con gandules. Like, for real. Because I tried to make it, I think it was last Sunday. It came out so bad. Honestly, it was just terrible. I put all the stuff in it. Like, I didn't make sofrito, but I put all the sofrito kind of things in it, you know, like all the seasonings and whatever. And I put in the tomato sauce, and I put in the beans, and I cooked them for a little bit, and then I put in the water, and I put in equal parts water to rice, and then I even put in a plantain that was grated because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be really gangsta about this and whatever. And I don't know what happened. I have no idea. The next thing I know, the bottom of the pot was burning. I don't know how that happened. I ran and grabbed my rice cooker, salvaged whatever rice was not touching the bottom, threw it in the rice cooker, added a little tiny bit more water, and it was fine. So that was good. It was a little, like, mushy, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, it just didn't taste right, and it wasn't, like, grainy. So, oh yeah, okay. Any tips on how to get the shell off the egg? So, what I do is, when I'm boiling the eggs, I put them in ice water when they're done, and then I let them cool a little. I roll them back and forth on a cutting board, and then I just peel them off like that. And I keep the ice water next to me because I like to be able to rinse them again, because sometimes when you take the shells off, they have still a little bit of shell on them, and you definitely don't want that in your food, you know. So that's what I do. Okay, half a teaspoon of the hot sauce. And I have Frank's Red Hot. Hot sauce. So there we go. All right, so last ingredient, boom, half a teaspoon of sea salt. So let me go ahead and grab the salt. Here we go. And I just keep reusing the same, you know, the same spoons and stuff like that. That's fine, because it's all going in the same dish. So if you find yourself doing that also, don't worry. All right. So here we go with the salt. So it's just half a teaspoon. And it should be easy. Okay, so let me just take out the rice that's in my salt shaker. You know, I really should bring out the real salt for the next episode. Oops, okay. So I always do the salt not over the dish, like whenever I, you know, put it in, because I have gotten salt in my food before, which is not nice. Hey, Ashley and Maura. So nice to see you guys. I figured, like, let's just do this now in case you're going to somebody's house or people are coming over, or even for your own family and you wanted to make this stuff. And also, you know, it's a different time, so folks who are working Friday evenings, you know, might not be able to catch the show. So this, I figured, was a nice little deal. All right, so to recap, we have 12 eggs, halved, the yolks taken out, half a cup of mayo, half a cup of cilantro chopped, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, half a tablespoon of Frank's Red Hot, and half a teaspoon of sea salt. So that's it. That's the whole shebang. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to just use a fork because whatever, it's okay. My mom says, Lillian, who is an excellent cook, tried to teach me how to make arroz con gandules. Epic fail. I cannot do it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I need somebody who wants to get on the show and show me and everybody else how to make arroz con gandules. And if you know how to make it, then I'm happy for you. But I need you to contact me and show me how to do this. So anyway, my son likes it, but he always peels out the gandules. Like, he takes them out. All right, so it's just a rough, mix here. You don't have to mix it to death. You could use a whisk. The problem with the whisk is that then it ends up all inside the whisk, and if you don't mind that, that's fine. I don't care for that. So I'm just using the fork. I'm mashing the yolks, and I'm mixing it together. Now, you may or may not have a pastry bag. I personally do not have one on hand. I have one deep in the abyss of things. The problem with that is that the one that I have is from the dollar store, and every time I use it, it's a ginormous fiasco. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother looking for it. I've seen this life hack where they take a soda bottle and they pierce the cap of it into a star, and then they cut the soda bottle, let's say at the top, and pierce the cap, put it in a Ziploc, screw the cap on, like cut a hole in the Ziploc, screw the cap on it, and that is like a mock pastry bag. And you could do that too, if you don't have one and you're desperate. But it doesn't really bother me if they don't look perfect, like the insides, because they taste so good that whoever is eating this is going to be like, they're delicious. It doesn't matter. They could be ugly, not that I'm recommending that you make them ugly on purpose, but they could be ugly and nobody's going to care. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scoop this into a freezer Ziploc bag, which I find to be a little bit thicker than the regular sandwich bags. I'm going to use a gallon bag and then cut the edge off and just scoop them right in. I'm going to show you. These are like the behind the scenes secrets. Okay, so where are the scissors? Okay, we can't find the scissors, but that's okay. You know why? Because I don't need the scissors. What I'm gonna do, you see this bag? I'm just gonna cut off a tiny bit. Maybe I would say a half an inch. Let's go with a half an inch. You know what? That looks like half an inch. Okay. And then I'm just going to scoop in the insides. Okay. You can use the same fork. Just throw them in there. Try to get it towards the hole so that you're not wasting as much, like on the side of the bag. There we go. I'm all about getting maximum amount of egg yolk into the eggs just because it does really taste delicious. Okay. At this point, I'm going to just rest this here and get my spatula because there's stuff all inside this and it's just goodness that we don't want to waste. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to save this so that I can taste it and ooh and ah and tell you guys how delicious it is. I don't know if you heard my anecdote the other day when I was saying that my hubby always laughs when the chefs are like, oh, that's so good after they make it on TV. That always makes him laugh. Would a smaller bag work as well? A smaller bag would work, sure. I like to use this one, not even just because it's big, but because it's a freezer bag. And the reason I say that is because it's thicker than the regular sandwich bags. So I prefer that myself, personally. Okay, so this is done. And what I'm going to do, my hole is here. I'm just going to scoop this in, my last little scoop. There we go. Done. Good enough. All right, so I'm going to seal it. I mean, you probably don't have to. I'm not going to seal it all the way, but, and then I'm just going to start moving them down, like with my hands. This is why try to get it towards the hole as much as you can, so it's not so much you have to squeeze down. And again, this is how I do it. If you do it a different way and you want to share how you do it, that would be cool. And that way, you know, I could see a new technique. That would be nice too. But this is for people who want to see a demonstration, and it works for me. So, you know, not everybody's the same, of course, but all right. So yeah, we're gonna want to leave the bag a little bit open just so the top air can escape. All right, so I have it like half open. All right, so makeshift pastry bag. Most, if not all, well, most of the mix is towards the bottom. So I'm just gonna squeeze it right into the insides, and there you go. And it's not ugly, you know. You could do different designs, I guess. I've seen them that are just like gorgeous rosettes, and that's beautiful. And if you wanted to, you know, make those for me, I wouldn't be mad. But this is for my family. This is in my house, so it's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna squeeze this in. I feel like there's some resistance here, so when that happens, you could just squeeze more towards the bottom of the bag to help it out. That might be like a little bit of thicker yolk at that point. Okay, and let me see. What? Okay, there we go. And just gonna squeeze them in. All right, so that's that. All right, and just put them all in there. It could be a fast thing, you know. Before I even thought of this, I was making them with spoons, like 2 spoons, and just scooping them into the insides. You see how fast that is? And if you don't like the way it looks, you could always use a spoon to kind of squash it down or whatever. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is you're going to put them in the fridge again till about a half an hour before you're gonna eat them. So like if you're going to somebody's house and they live a half an hour away, that works too. And you're gonna cover them with plastic wrap. So I don't really care so much about the look of the yolk, but if you did a really, really nice job and you don't want them to get messed up, you could put something tall in the middle of your plate. So right here, you could put something tall, and that way, when you plastic wrap it, it's almost like a tent. So that way it doesn't squash what you have going on. All right, so they're in there. I'm just gonna squeeze them in, make life easy for myself. If the hole gets a little bit bigger, that's not the end of the world, you know, it's fine. There we go. All right, almost done. Boom, boom. All right, and these are really honestly just delicious. I love them. All right, so that's it, and I'm gonna just squeeze this guy in there, and I got some behind me that were like, you know, the ugly ducklings, so those guys I'm gonna use to taste them. Let's see. This one. Let's see how good that is. All right. Do-do-do. Squeeze it in there. I'm gonna test it for you guys, okay? Let's see. Delicious. It's really good because of all the manipulation. The yolk is not cold. The outside is. So again, that's why you want to bring them all to the same temperature and then bring them to room temperature. Boom. Okay. Wow. They're just good every time. This is honestly like a really foolproof recipe. So if you're looking for deviled eggs for something, this is a great recipe. All right, I'm going to set these to the side. Next, I'm going to work on the potato salad. So, get these guys out of here. And I'm going to just set this to the side real quick. Okay. On my shelves, I'm going to get rid of these guys too. All right, the potato salad is another thing that needs to be cold before you eat it. Like it tastes good right after you make it, but it's not the same. you really should refrigerate it and then let it come back down to room temperature. It's something, I don't know what it does to the flavors, but it really does help. All right, so the potato salad is a recipe that I found online many years ago. I was that person who was going to barbecues and stuff, and I'm like, what can I bring? What can I make? I want to make something different. Or if I'm going to have a little barbecue in the house, like I want to have potato salad. And for me, it's very hard to find a potato salad that I actually like. Everybody makes it different. Some people's I love. Some that I have purchased, I don't particularly care for. So this is a really, really easy potato salad recipe that I love. It always comes out good, just like the deviled eggs. Okay, so I'm gonna take the potatoes, which have been cooling all this time. And again, I quartered them. The size is about this big. They're still a little bit warm. I would say that's about 2 inches in diameter. Okay, and then I let them cool, and that just makes them much easier to peel. So we're just gonna peel the skins right off. And then I'm gonna read you the recipe, okay? So you're gonna do this right into the bowl. It's super easy. So we're gonna take the peeled potatoes, and again, you're not gonna wanna boil them to death because when you make your potato salad, they're gonna just be mush, and you don't want that. So what I did is I quartered them, and the pieces are about, like I said, 2 inches in diameter. I boiled them for about 20 minutes. The recipe says 20 to 25 minutes. For me, I have the water already boiling when I put them in, and then 20 minutes from then. And you see how easy it is to peel these guys once they cool? It's like the skin lifts up a little bit. So I prefer to do it this way. And if you had peeled them before they cooled, before you put them in, the skin is going to do the same thing. It's going to be like a tougher layer. So I don't like to do that. All right, so you're going to take a big bowl and just go ahead and put all the potatoes in there. And then what you're going to add is, and I think this is kind of like a secret ingredient, maybe not so secret to everybody, but to me, 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. And what the vinegar does is it gives it really like a tangy, salty kind of flavor to it, which I like on my potato salad. And also, if you're like me, I'm trying not to cook with too much salt. So vinegar is a really nice alternative to salt. There was a time when we had major blood pressure issues in the house, and we needed to not use salt at all. And so what I was doing, which a friend of mine, Joe, gosh, I forget his name. Anyway, that's terrible, but a friend of mine was suggesting was to clean the meat, like chicken or steaks or meat like that, pork chops, with vinegar. And that gives it a salty flavor without having to add salt to it. And that's very true. It does really work. And also, I feel like when you clean the meat with vinegar, it's almost like more clean than just with water. So I really like to do that. So we're adding the vinegar. So that's 3 tablespoons of vinegar, 2 celery stalks diced, 6 green onions diced. Now, if for whatever reason you don't know what green onions are, welcome to my world. I had no idea what green onions were. I grew up in New York my whole life, and I know them as scallions, maybe chives, but I never heard of green onions. So I was like, what the heck is green onions? Yes, absolutely, Christine. If you try the recipe, please put a picture up, like on my Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see that. And hello to Alexandra. Welcome. So anyway, green onions are scallions, if you didn't know that. Now, let's say, for example, you don't have green onions because you don't know what they are. That has happened to me. It was one of the first times I made this dish. I think it was actually the first time, which, again, is why it's good to make it the first time in the comfort of your own home without anybody else from outside tasting it. That's just my philosophy that I got from my old boss, my former boss, I should say, casing. So in any case, you could take regular onions, but you're not going to use 6 onions because that would be disgusting. If you're going to use regular onions instead of green onions, like you want to make this today, let's say, and you don't have green onions, aka scallions, what you could do is take a regular onion. And what you could do is chop it up really finely, maybe use 3/4 of the onion, and rinse it before you put it in here. And the rinsing is really going to make the onion taste go down a little bit. So that's a safe bet. I wouldn't put in really a whole onion either. Okay, hard-boiled eggs. So the person who created this recipe, whatever their name is, they say 5 hard-boiled eggs, but that their mother makes it with 3. So I'm already using 12 eggs for the deviled eggs, so that's a lot of eggs. So I just decided to go with 3. So you could do 5 if you like 5, if you really like hard-boiled eggs. And what I do with the hard-boiled eggs in this is I save one to the end. And then, like if I bring it to somebody's house, hey Ronnie, what I like to do is I like to slice it and place it on top. And I think that looks really pretty. So you would slice it obviously with the yolk showing, and then just put it right on top. That looks really nice. Another thing that looks really nice on this, which I'll do before I post up the pictures, is paprika. So I add a little paprika into it, and then just actually, you don't even have to put paprika in it if you don't want to. But what you could do is put a little paprika. Oh, okay. They call them garden onions in Minnesota. You see, if somebody was to tell me that I had to add garden onions, I would be like, what? Huh? Like, you mean scallions? Chives? That's so funny. Yeah, everybody calls them something else. Wonder why they have so many names. That's so weird. But in any case, you could add the paprika for garnish. Now, insider tip on the paprika, like with the salt, you're going to want to pour the paprika into your hand first and then just sprinkle it, dust it. Pretend that you are the Salt Bae. I don't know if you guys have seen that meme from many years ago with the Salt Bae. I didn't know what it was at first, but it's this guy. I think he has glasses or sunglasses or something. He looks like, oh my God, what's that guy's name? Tony Stark. And anyways, Robert Downey Jr. That's what he looks like with sunglasses that are like halfway down his face. And he has the salt and he's like, shh. That's what you want to do with the paprika. You don't want to be like, no, that's horrible. You, you're going to want to do the paprika at the end once the whole thing is plated and your sliced eggs are on top and it looks beautiful. And then you could just put a little bit of paprika like in the corners and a little bit around the middle. And that's it. Stop. You know? And I'll put up pictures so you guys can see. All right, so that's the paprika. Now, this recipe calls for 1.5 cups of Miracle Whip or mayonnaise. Now, in my house, you get your butt kicked for using Miracle Whip, okay? But to each his own. I don't dislike Miracle Whip. I've had it before, but it doesn't really taste like mayonnaise. And when I say butt kicked, I mean that figuratively and by my mother. So don't, you know, let's not think the worst here, guys. All right, so in any case, my mom is a mayonnaise snob. I have come to that conclusion. She likes only Hellmann's. So if you're going to use Miracle Whip, let me know how it tastes, how it comes out. I have never been able to do that, but I would imagine it'll still be very good. And 1 tablespoon yellow mustard. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of celery seed. I have never ever used that. I don't have celery seed and I don't feel that it needs it. But if you have celery seed and you would like to add that, that is perfectly fine. 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. I find that regular salt works just as well. And 3/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. freshly ground. If you have regular black pepper, I'm sure that will be delicious also. The reason they say freshly ground is because the flavor is a little bit stronger, but either way, it's still good. You could use the pepper from like the little box or whatever with the red label on it. It's fine. All right. Now, when I'm peeling these potatoes, what I like to do is take out the eyes, any hard parts. Sometimes when you're boiling, it doesn't completely get soft. So just take those guys out. You don't need them. This is enough potatoes, honestly, for the meal without those parts. Whenever I'm cooking, I try to make every bite as consistent as the other. So let's say I'm making chicken and there's like those hard things on the chicken. I take those out because the last thing I want is for somebody to be biting into a piece of chicken. And I've had it happen to me, mostly from fast food, like chicken sandwiches, where all of a sudden there's like a hard bite and it's like, oh my God, what is happening? So that's very gross. All right. Getting down to the wire here, not many more potatoes. I'm just going to use this spoon to kind of scoop them out of their skin because it's starting to hurt my fingernails. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to wind up under my fingernails bothering me the whole day. And this is kind of fast also. This guy is mostly skin. I'm just going to peel it right off. There we go. Okay, so, and I don't know if you can see, but it's already lifted somewhat, the skin. So I take off what I can. These are the eyes, this brown stuff, I take that out. I don't like the way it looks in the potato salad, and I don't think you need it, honestly, because it is a lot of potato salad. This is 8 servings of potato salad. So we're not going to have that many people here. It's just going to be us and my mom. But it's really good in the fridge like the next day also because I find that all the flavors really kind of melt together. So with that being the case, it making a little bit more than what we're going to eat today is fine. All right, I'm just going right along here, peeling and peeling and peeling. All right, there we go. Have like a couple little pieces left. Let's see. Almost done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix it all together, but not in the plate that I'm going to serve it in because I really want it to look pretty. You know, I think it's all about presentation with this potato salad. It has the capacity to be really beautiful. So do the deviled eggs, but I think it's kind of more important with the potato salad just because the eggs are going to look pretty anyway, even if the yolks aren't like florets. It'll still look nice. Okay, here we go. Almost done, almost done. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Scoop this guy out. Come on. So close to being done. Oh, get out of here. All right, let's see. There we go. One more, promise. All right. And we're going to want like a bigger bowl for this. All right, I got some little eyes in here. I'm going to just take them out. That's just for my own neuroses. If you don't care, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. Done. Okay, let me just take this out of here. I'll take some of these little pieces also. All right. And rinse my hands. Okay. You get a nice bowl for this. Here we go. All right, so there we go. So I'm just gonna put in the peeled onions. You know what? I might need a bigger bowl than this. Let's see. Because it's a lot of potatoes. I'm gonna just rinse this guy out. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, let's see. Throw a little soap in there. This is how you know that this is an at-home show. I don't have any like assistants or production people. This is my food journal at this point, a food blog, and You gotta just make do. All right. Nice and clean, no soap. Oh my gosh. I have a funny story. So, when I was a kid growing up, we used to have friends over, right? Because I wasn't allowed to go to anybody's house. It was a different time then, and it was pretty dangerous. I grew up in the South Bronx in the 80s. So, if any of you know what that means, that is crack epidemic time. So, pretty much, the streets are a little bit dangerous. I mean, I didn't know really, but in any case, it was reality there. So we had some friends over, and I was washing dishes. I must have been like 9 or 10 at the time. Again, not allowed in the kitchen much, right? So I'm putting on a show, I'm washing the dishes or whatever. And we have a friend who comes over with her sister, and she winds up drinking like a big glass of water that I had washed. But unfortunately for her, I had not rinsed it very well. So, needless to say, she got a big gulp of soap water. So, those are the things that happen. So, anyway, ever since then, I have always made sure that I really, really rinse stuff out. Okay, so potatoes, 3 tablespoons of vinegar, white vinegar. It doesn't have to be like any special brand. Plain white vinegar that you get from the store is sufficient. Let me get my tablespoon real quick. This guy was hanging out with the eggs. So here we go. All right. 3 tablespoons. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. And this I don't mind doing over the potatoes because if a little bit extra goes in, that's okay. My mom said that's why you were not allowed in the kitchen. I know, right? I outwore my welcome at an early age. It was like, no, girl. I'll just do it myself. No, I think a lot of us know how that feels. Okay. 2 celery stalks, diced. It says ribs. I would imagine that means the stalk. I don't know why it says ribs on there. I know they're ribbed, but I don't know any non-ribbed celery, so it could just be that this person was trying to be very specific. And they said that this is their grandma's recipe, so I honestly believe that only because it's very good. It's a very good recipe. All right, so I'm going to take these 2 stalks, and these are celery hearts. It just so happens that my supermarket sells them like that, and the thing I like about them is that you don't have to cut off too much on the top because they're already cut down. All right, so let me move this over so you can see kind of what is happening over here. All right, where did I put? Here we go. All right. This is where I was peeling the potatoes, so there we go. All right, and let me rinse these guys too. Always washing everything, right? We got to. All right. There we go. All right, let me get a knife and go to town. All right, we're going to chop off the tops. Even though it doesn't have the long stalk or whatever on it, it's still kind of gross because it's, if you can see, it's like oxidized. It's been exposed to the air. I'm just going to cut off the ends. And then if there's any weird stuff going on here, like dry parts or whatever, it would be nice if you cut those off for your guests. It would be nice. So I just try to be mindful of that, All right, I'm going to put them on top of each other just to save time. And it says to dice them. So I'm going to just cut them in little strips and then cut them the other way and then move on with my life. Then we're going to do the 6 green onions. Now, when we do the green onions, it's going to be just the green stalks. It's not going to be like the white part of it. I'm just going to do the stalks. I don't know if anybody uses the white part of the green onion. I never have. I don't know if that's like just me being silly, but Not really sure what that's for. So if you know, let me know because I'm curious. Wow, this smells really good, this celery. And it also calls for celery seed, but if you don't have that, that's fine. I've never used it, and it's always tasted really, really good. So it's like a foolproof potato salad, as far as I'm concerned. It does have a lot of steps, but they're not hard. Probably the most difficult thing is the peeling the potatoes, and then once you get over that, it's not a big deal. And also, you could do this in the food processor. You could take the 6 celery stalks rinsed. I'm sorry, 6 green onions rinsed, and the 2 celery stalks, and just throw them in the food processor. And that would be a lot faster and easier than what I'm doing here. But because I'm on the podcast also, I don't want to, have the food processor going. I believe they use celery on everything. Yeah, my grandma, she used to use celery on everything. That is very true. A friend of mine, who we mentioned in the last show, Love, she used to take frozen celery and rub it on kids' gums, like, for them when they're teething. But my daughter doesn't like the way it tastes. It does have a taste, the celery. I know it doesn't really have a strong taste, but I think when you're little like that, it does have a taste to it. So having it frozen, I think, mitigates the taste a little bit, but she still doesn't really care for it. But you could try it if you have kids that are teething. That might be a nice little surprise for them. The nice thing about it is that it's ribbed so that it does scratch their gums. Okay, so here we go. Diced celery. It doesn't have to be like teeny, teeny, tiny, 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 tiny pieces. No, diced, little squares. So that's fine. All right, there we go. Boom. Just throw it in. Done. All right, the next thing is the 6 green onions. Okay. There we go. It's already looking pretty with the green and the potatoes. Okay. I don't know if you want to see that. There you go. It's really pretty. It's a beautiful salad. And that's why I say, like, this is more about presentation, I think, than the eggs. The eggs, everybody's seen deviled eggs for the most part. And also, if you wanted to, you could use paprika to garnish your deviled eggs as well. I like doing that too, actually. What I like to do is also pour it in my hand first and then lightly sprinkle it on each egg. Okay, so when they say 6 green onions, I don't think they mean 6 of these. They might, but that's not what I do. What I do is I take 6 stalks. So 1, 2, got this guy. Oops. 3. I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to put it to the side. 4, 5, 6. Okay? We can use one more for good measure. There we go. 7. What I like to do with the chives, scallions, garden onions, whatever you call them, green onions, I put them in a glass of water when they still have the roots on them. So like this, with the root on it, I just throw it in the fridge. And that seems to make them last for longer also. Because they do get very wilty when they're by themselves in there. Maybe they're lonely. We don't know. Okay, so I'm going to chop this up pretty fine. It says diced, so this is much easier to cut because you don't have to cut it, 2 different ways. You're just going to cut them really small. And if you've seen scallions or whatever you want to call them on like a potato or in cream cheese or anything like that, you're going to want them, you like them small. They should be small. All right, one of the tips that I've seen on a lot of these shows with chefs is that you curl your fingers in and then you allow your knuckles to be the guide for the knife. So I'm still practicing on that because it's not as easy as it looks. I think it's just one of those muscle memory things for me. I tend to cut this way, which is, probably not good. More likely to get cut. All right, so they're in there. I'm just going to give them a rough chop the other way. There we go. And the scallions are done. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is put in the hard-boiled eggs. Again, I save one for presentation. And it's just going to get mixed in there anyway. Somebody's going to wind up with a pretty slice of egg, whatever the case. But for me, I think it looks prettier that way. So I'm going to use two of them. And then when I present it, then I would, I'll show you. All right, this guy is not cooperating, and this is very long. So you want them all to be kind of uniform in terms of size. And I do smell them. They are very aromatic. But again, they're not as sharp in taste as a regular onion. So I would use like 3/4 of a larger onion, like a medium to large onion instead if I don't have these. All right, so I'm going to throw them in. It's quite a bit. Okay. And I'll show you what that looks like too. And then, okay, eggs. All right, so here we go. See how much that is? If I were to put in 6 of them, it's just too much. So I just put in 6 stalks, not 6 whole green onions with multiple stalks on it. That's just me. All right, so, and I think that's the benefit of watching a demonstration as opposed to just reading a recipe, because you really make it your own. Okay, Marina, this is for you. These eggs have been cooled. They were in ice water. They're very cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to roll it back and forth. First, it's going to pop. You hear that? Then I'm going to roll it back and forth. That's it. All right. And then I'm going to find like a little opening here. You see how this part is white? And I'm just going to peel it. Okay. I don't mind brown eggs. Doesn't matter. Brown, white, doesn't matter. They're all white on the inside anyway, so it's going to look like how it's supposed to. Okay. If you get a nice big piece, you could just peel it off from there. If you still have a little shell like this, just dip it in some water. It'll rinse right off. And you don't have to worry too much. That's it. You could also run it underwater if you don't have the bowl anymore. Let's move this bit of shell out of the way. I'm all about not having surprises. You don't want surprises when it comes to food. Okay, so there we go. Again, a little pop and then a roll. That's it. You can roll it a couple of times. You really only need to roll it once. Doesn't matter. If you feel like you want to keep rolling it, roll it twice. That's fine. But don't roll it so many times, because what's going to happen is it's going to get all like, for lack of a better word, mushad. It's going to be very like mushy inside and crunchy, and I don't know. It's going to fall apart. You don't want that. Okay, so I'm just peeling this guy off, and look how nice. I'm able to separate it enough that the whole thing comes out. That's a joy for me. It's the little things in life, you know? All right, this one is done, and the last one. So now, like I said, for me, this is about presentation. So what I like to do, sneaky little tip that I do, is I like to slice one and see how pretty it looks. And then if it's good, then great. That'll be the one that I put on the top. If it looks crazy, there are some eggs that the yolk is like nowhere to be found. It's all in the bottom. It looks crazy. That one can go in the mix. Yes. Okay. Now you know my secrets. All right. So let me rinse this guy. Yeah, rinse it here. And again, for those who are just joining us, I have a water filtration system, so the tap water is just as good as the bottled water. Thank God. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna slice it this way. Not too thin. You see? No yellow already. This one is potentially not gonna be the one. Not gonna be the star. Oh yeah, no. This guy, you see the yolk popped out. No. You're getting chopped up and thrown in the mix. Sorry, buddy. Not happening today. All right, this guy's out of here. Not the winner. This is not a winner. Okay. There we go. Boom. Okay. There. So we're just chopping them up. Rough chop. Throw them in. Being mindful of shells, always. Okay, here we go. Okay, now let's try the next one. Oh, let me rinse my hands. All right, let's try the next one. Here we go. Get this out of the way. This is the science behind this. Okay. Slicing. Okay, this is doing the same thing as the last one, but I may not have much choice with the next one. I'm going to turn it around the other way so that the yolk doesn't just pop out like how it did before. This is actually not bad because, oh, well, it's not great. But anyway, what it's going to look like on the salad is almost like an egg that is cut in egg form. So kind of like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's how I like it to be. Okay, let's see how the next one comes out. I don't know if you could see that. Oh, whoops. Let's see. All right, let's try the last one. Let's see how that one goes. All right. It smells really good in here. I'm not gonna lie. All right. This one I think is the best one. Yeah. Okay, this one is really good because you can see the yolk in a lot of the pieces. So, I don't know. In any case, it's not the biggest deal. I know I'm making it a big deal, but you're gonna eat it anyway. It's not the end of the world. All right, so I'm gonna just chop this up, put it in to there. All right, so we did the eggs. Now we're gonna do the mayonnaise, and then we're gonna do the mustard, the salt and pepper, and that's it. Done. All right, so let's see. Then my lovely assistant is gonna come out and he's gonna help us do fried Oreos, which is gonna be really exciting. Okay, so the eggs are in. Let's do the mayo. 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna rinse this measuring cup. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, Beat Bobby Flay, where he is competing against chefs, and whoever, is able to beat him in the competition has, I guess, bragging rights. I don't know if they win any money. But I was watching it last night, and there was this guy. I want to say his name was Nick. Nick, I think was his name. I'm not really sure. Anyway, he's from Brooklyn, and he wound up beating this other guy who was like this really well-known chef who has a restaurant with Wolfgang Puck. So I was really impressed that he beat the guy. And everybody was like, oh, this guy is too overconfident. He's not gonna, make it and blah, blah, blah. So he did actually make it because the person he was cooking against didn't make a dish. What they made was a cocktail instead. So Bobby Flay comes out and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you a secret ingredient, and that's the ingredient that you're going to have to showcase in your meal. So the ingredient that they had was passion fruit. And so the guy was like, I'm going to make a passion fruit cocktail and blah, blah, blah. So he did. And then our guy from New York, who I was, rooting for because he's from Brooklyn. And, I used to live in Brooklyn, so there you go. In any case, he wound up making some salmon toast with salad and also a yogurt dressing. And that actually won. And then he went against Bobby Flay, and he did. So okay, when you win, you get to go against Bobby Flay and decide what Bobby's gonna make, right? So he's gonna make your signature dish now. So what he had to make was clam bellies. So anyway, the guy works in Brooklyn. If I can remember the name of the restaurant, or I can look it up. I'll let you guys know what it is. supposed to be really good. And in any case, his signature dish is the clam belly. So he made it. It was fantastic. The judges loved it. And he beat Bobby Flay. So that was really cool. I've never eaten clam bellies. I don't know how appetizing that sounds to me. But it looked really good when he was making them. They're like deep fried, and how could that be wrong? And it looked like a lobster roll to me, which I love lobster rolls. Okay, so I have my mayo in here. And then we just got the mustard, which is 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. I would definitely use the yellow if you can. The brown is going to give it like a weird taste, like a little something different. Okay, here we go. Oops. That was a little low on the mustard there. There we go. All right, and then we're going to add last ingredients, salt and pepper. Okay, easy peasy, right? All right, my lovely assistant can start coming out if he would like. My hubby's like, let me know when to send him out, so he can start coming out if he wants. All right, I'm just mixing this all up, and then I'm gonna just add the salt and pepper and then give it another mix, and that's it. That's the whole potato salad. Again, you're gonna have your sliced up egg on the top. You're gonna have your paprika as a garnish, and you're done. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this to the side because it just needs salt and pepper, and that's it. Okay, so the final pièce de résistance for today, as you know, in addition to whatever meat you're cooking, if you are cooking meat, we're gonna do salmon for my mom, and we're gonna do, I think, steak and hot dogs and burgers, or we might just do 2 of the 3 because it's only us. So it's going to be really, really good. Okay, and I'll post up pictures later. In the essence of saving time, I'm just going to move this over to the side. And so I'll get that out of the way. Okay. In the interest of saving time, sorry. All right, so this is my pumpkin. Ethan Jack, say hi. Yes, that is my baby. And what is one of your favorite cookies that is black and white in the middle?
Oreos.
Oreos, yes. This is not pre-rehearsed, people. Okay, so what did you want to make on the show?
Pancakes.
Pancakes, yes. And so I kind of felt like maybe pancakes was a little bit something that a lot of people have done before, so I wanted to do something, you know, just jazz it up a little notch. So what I'm going to do is I have my oil here. What's that? Yeah, I know. She's with Daddy. I'm going to just heat up the oil while we're getting this started. I'm going to put in, I would say, maybe 1/4 inch of oil from the bottom of the pan. Okay, so I bought these Oreo minis. You want one now? Just one? Want one now? Okay, just one, just one. He's an Oreo monster, him and his dad. If I let them, they'll eat the whole bag. Actually, this is the second time I've had to buy this in order to make this recipe, because the other one went. Okay, what I like to do is I like to just use the complete pancake mix on this because, you know, it's just deep fried. It's not a big deal. So what this calls for is 1 cup of mix, 1/2 cup of water. And that makes 4 to 5 pancakes. This is super easy. Once you do it, you know, you're going to be like, wow, that was so simple. Oh, well, whatever. This is... Lily says she loves Oreos. Grandma Lily from New York. She said she loves Oreos. Do you love them too? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of... 1 cup of mix, 1/2 cup of water.
Daddy's mom.
Yeah.
Grandma Lily. Jay, that you call him, loves Oreos too.
Jay, that you call him. And Nancy's on there. That's our Fifi from Long Island. Say hi. Don't eat them all.
It's too tempting.
No. Okay, all right. Step away from the Oreos. Get out of here. All right. So I'm going to add, see, I'm just going to add some more water to this. You want it to be thick, but like, this is a good thickness.
No.
I know, it looks yucky. But I'm just going to add a little tiny bit more water. When it's done, it's fantastic. Okay.
Can I help?
Yes, baby, you can help. What you're going to do, are your hands clean? Did you wash your hands before?
No.
Go wash your hands and come back.
1 minute, guys.
Okay. Yeah, he's eating the Oreos. I'm like, stop. We're going to do that for a show. Okay, this is a little better. The batter is thick, but I'm able to incorporate all of it. You washed your hands? That was fast. Are you sure? Did you use soap? I know they're wet, but did you use soap?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're gonna fry them anyway, so it's like if there's germs, they'll get killed. Okay, so what you're gonna do, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some Oreos, I'm gonna put them on a plate.
What?
And then, no, not for you to eat. This is about the show. All right, I'm gonna put them on the plate.
No, stop.
Okay. The ones that are open, we're not gonna use those.
Give me the one.
Hey, you can't just be eating while you're cooking. Well, I do that too. All right. Okay. Are we good?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're gonna put them in the batter. Okay? There's more. Don't worry. The ones that are okay. And we're just gonna put them in. We're gonna dip them and cover them completely. Go ahead. Keep putting them in. I'll cover them. Fine. There's more. Come on. All right. Cover them. Okay, we're covering them. More. Okay. I don't think you could fit any more in your mouth. Oh my goodness. Okay. Got fingers in here, guys. Lots of fingers. All right. My fingers, yours. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to take over the rest of this. So you just want to make sure that they're covered in batter. That's pretty much it. And I leave them in the batter up until I go to fry them. I'm going to just add a couple more and then cover them as well. I'm going to give you one more. One. Take one. Here. Get out of here. You're going to eat them after this is done, when they're fried. That's even better.
All of them?
No, you're not going to eat them all by yourself. Okay, so anyway, let's see if the oil is hot. Hang on.
What are we making then?
Fried Oreos.
What?
So like everything else,
Fried Oreos?
I just throw a little dot of water in there to see. Once it starts sizzling, it'll let me know. I'm going to take, no. Okay, get out of here. So I'm going to take a plate. I'm going to put some paper towels on it. When they come out. He's adorable. That's so cute. Everybody's saying you're adorable.
7 watchers.
Ita said to leave her some Oreos, okay? Never. All right. So, what I'm gonna do?
And I thought you only eat not Oreos. I thought you only eat fish and like grass food or something.
Steve is on here too. Hey, Steve.
Who just puts hearts?
Those are the people watching.
I saw them
Those are our
fly.
friends. Yeah. That's what comes on the live.
There's 6 watchers now.
Oh, somebody left. 5. Oh, we're losing them. They're dropping like flies, Shy.
No!
All right. So what you're going to do is you're just going to pick them out with the batter on them and just drop them into the hot oil. Let's see if it's hot yet. Come on.
Hi.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Okay.
I'm looking on the phone. There's only 4 viewers.
Wait a minute.
I need to say something.
Maybe you should tell a joke. Maybe we'll get more viewers if you tell a joke.
No, I'm not good
Oh,
at
there's the
those.
oil. You know a riddle.
Oh, you mean that one?
Yeah. You know, your face is so dirty. You know a riddle.
Why do you want to tell me?
Tell them a riddle.
No.
Come on.
No.
Yes, you are. What is the same size?
No.
Go ahead, tell them.
No.
Come on.
Stop it.
They want to know.
Okay.
You guys want to know, right? Come on, tell them.
Say yes or
Yes,
no.
They said yes.
No, they didn't.
How do you know?
Look at that.
Let's see. Does anybody say yes? They want to know. Marena says hi.
Oh, she didn't say yes.
Does
But
she
look
say
what I
yes?
said.
She wants to know a riddle? I know, yes. I see your comment on there.
I don't even know how to write.
Okay.
Maybe I can write.
Tell them the riddle, baby.
They got to say I want to know. E, T, H,
Okay, let me see.
A.
Yes, yes. Ita says yes. Titi Nancy says yes. Marena says yes. Everybody wants to know. Come on, tell us. You got some suspense. What is the riddle? Come on.
No, you say it.
Oh my gosh. They don't want to hear me say it. They've been listening to me talk forever.
Boo for it, mommy.
Boo for mommy. Wait a minute. That's not a riddle.
I know.
Tell them.
That's my name.
Oh my lord.
Put my name too.
Alright.
Oh.
So once, like a pancake, they get like bubbles and stuff and golden brown on one side, you're just going to go ahead and flip them over.
I know. Tell them the riddle.
Tell them, please. I have people listening on the podcast that want to know.
If you don't like it, I'll never be on Cooking the Angel again.
I'm sure they're going to love it.
I'm
It's
sure
a
they're
good
gonna
one.
hate it.
They're going to love it. Tell them. Let's go. Come on.
The dragon size in the room.
Then tell them that one. That's a good one.
What is that?
Just tell them. Ethan, Jack, tell them, please.
Why?
Come on. Be a friend. Tell them.
Fine, tell them to do the rules.
Huh?
Okay.
Ask them to guess. That would be a good way to do it.
Okay, guess what I'm gonna say.
No, not guess what I'm going to say. Guess the answer to the riddle. Silly.
Guess the answer to the riddle?
Yes.
How? I don't want to do it.
Okay. I will tell you.
Fine.
Oh, now. Okay, go ahead. Tell them.
What's the same size as a dragon?
And weighs nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we have any good guesses here. What's the same size as a dragon but weighs
Always
nothing?
nothing. Ita knows, but Ita, don't spill it. Don't
Is there any
spill the
guesses on there so far?
beans. I know you watching this, Ita.
All right, Buffy, watch out a little bit, okay? So
Don't spill the beans.
this is how they look. They're very golden brown. This is like one of those carnival foods, like I mentioned earlier.
What'd she
And
say?
you can see. And then what I'm gonna do? A cloud. She said a cloud.
No.
No, that's a good guess though.
She
What
said
else?
that last time.
She said that last time. She must have forgot what the answer was. What could it be? Are you gonna tell them, or you want someone else to guess?
What did she say?
She said cloud.
No, someone
Someone
else.
else guess? I don't know. Maybe we should be nice and tell them.
Maybe. Fine. But if there's one more guess, comment.
Comment down below. He watches a lot of YouTube. All right, tell them what it is.
Comment. Somebody
Nice singer.
please comment. One more comment, please.
A balloon.
No.
That's a really good guess too.
Yeah, but it was a shadow.
The answer is a shadow. Ooh. That is awesome. Okay, so these are done, and it's honestly that fast. I mean, I didn't cook them all yet, but, you know, just so you guys can see them, and then I'm going to jump off here and finish up everything else I've been making. That's pretty much it. What happens is that they cool down, they're on a paper towel. Yeah, see? Ita said, I remember now. Nancy says, that's a good riddle. Morena says, good one, Jack. You see? That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Why you put thumbs down? No. That was a good riddle. It really was. I like that one a lot.
Wasn't.
Yes, it was. So look, do they look delicious? He's like, no. They are really good though. They are. So what I'm gonna do.
They're not Oreos anymore.
Sure there are. They're fried Oreos. So it's like Oreo goodness. Just deep fried. Yes.
These are better.
And then I'll let them cool and put confectioner's sugar on them on top. And I'll show you guys a picture.
Not Oreos and more
You could, excuse me, you could do them with a full-size Oreo, obviously. We're on a diet here, as you can see, so we're using the mini ones. And then with the sugar on top, it's really good too. So
I got all.
oh, you see, you dropped them. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, wonderful cooking with you today. Thank you for bearing with me. Oh, what's in the batter? The batter is literally complete pancake mix. That's it. This, any brand, it doesn't matter. Add enough water that it's still very thick, but you know, you can incorporate all the dry mix into it, and that's it. Just dip them.
No, J.
J-A-Y.
No, that is J.
Daddy says more for me. You could just make sure that they're covered completely, and then throw them into hot oil. I have a Fried Daddy that Lily had gotten me. I haven't used it on the show yet because I know not everybody has one, but I am going to do a show that is just fried foods, and I'll definitely have that running as well. And it's super awesome to use. So easy and fast. So, but I'm doing these on the stove today. So, in any case, they're delicious. I'm trying to see if one of them is cool enough. They're still really, really hot. So you just want to give them time and then let them cool and then sprinkle them with confectioner sugar. So, can you say bye to everybody?
I need to find J. And then
Why? No, no. Okay, say bye-bye.
No,
Say goodnight, Gracie.
no.
Say bye-bye.
I need to spell J.
Okay, bye guys. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. And
Daddy,
again, thank you
Mommy,
to
don't
everyone
hang up
who
yet.
has
Don't
served
hang up
for
the
us.
thing.
Why?
I need to spell J-A-Y.
Oh my
I need
goodness.
to find
His name is
one.
not J-A-Y on Facebook. It's J-O-N.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. Bye. Have a wonderful day. Take care, guys. Thanks for
Don't
joining.
hang up yet. I'm almost done.